It is out of concern for their reputation alone that I will only address this matter in private.
Decisions that franchises make often affect public perception. So on that note, here are 10 major restaurant chains with a bad reputation. Starbucks.
Starbucks has a surprise for you.
Starbucks is beloved by many and is the largest coffee franchise in the world. Sometimes it seems like there's a Starbucks on every corner, with several thousand possibilities for drink combinations on a seemingly endlessly customizable menu. There is something for just about everyone at Starbucks.
Lars, they love Starbucks.
Despite the fact that they are extremely popular and a daily stop for a lot of consumers, it does not stop them from having a bit of a tainted reputation. A small number of customers were rather outraged when Starbucks began to raise their prices, though this is something that is pretty common in a lot of service industries. This wouldn't be the biggest thing that would leave Starbucks' reputation a little worse for wear. In fact, their price hikes would be left in the dust when people found out that Starbucks had been using less than ideal methods to prevent some of their staff at their stores from unionizing. They even went as far as trying to intimidate their employees who are often overworked and underpaid, hence why they felt the need to unionize in the first place. While you may enjoy Starbucks drinks or food, that doesn't mean the corporation itself is upstanding. Their past actions have shown otherwise. Chick-Fil-A.
Watch your back, Chick-Fil-A.
Known largely for its chicken and service with a smile, Chick-fil-A has been at the top of third-party customer service surveys for years. People enjoy seemingly clean restaurants, quick service, and hot and delicious food. And while they may be able to offer some fantastic customer service and food that brings people back time and time again, they have not been able to avoid their fair share of controversy, which has garnered them a less than ideal reputation among many. Chick-fil-A came under fire a few years ago when mainstream media sources reported that the company had donated several $1 million to causes that were aimed at opposing same-sex marriage, along with several other anti-LGBTQ+ organizations.
It's not fair.
Chick-fil-A's corporate roots are based around the original founders' religious beliefs, and apparently that means supporting less than popular causes. This would not be the first and only instance of the company going against the LGBTQ+ community. Most people would agree that everyone deserves to be treated equally, no matter their gender or orientation. Despite all this, many people still continue to frequent the restaurant, whether it's because they have the same beliefs, don't know about the franchise's history, or because they simply love their food too much to stop going. So while Chick-fil-A may have a bad reputation among many, they are not likely to close their doors anytime soon, at least not due to these specific issues. Burger King.
Oh, I love Burger King, don't you?
There are several third-party companies that will conduct customer service satisfaction surveys in order to rank restaurants according to how happy the customers are with the service, cleanliness, and food, among a few other criteria. For a while now, Burger King has continued to be rated very low in customer service in most categories, which is more than enough to earn them at least a bit of a bad reputation.
I'm gonna grab a burger. You want something?
I don't want a burger.
This is not the only thing that has caused Burger King's reputation to drop down, though. On top of their low ratings among most customers, they have had their fair share of bad history among the LGBTQ+ community. In recent years, they have made an attempt at trying to repair this, though it mostly just ended up with BK receiving even more criticism for trying too hard to make it seem like they're a good company rather than truly improving things. One of these attempts at repairing their reputation was an attempt at using the Chick-fil-A scandal to show their supposed support for the LGBTQ+ community, though many people called them out for their history of discrimination against LGBTQ+ employees, stating that donating a few cents per purchase to a charity was not enough to forget the company's true colors. So while Burger King may be a favorite restaurant of some, many people dislike it, whether it's for their past transgressions or simply because of their less than ideal service and food. Waffle House.
Waffle House? Yeah.
Waffle House has gained a reputation as a loud and not ideal dining experience. Many customers rate it poorly because of the fact that it feels near impossible to have a conversation while eating your meal, unless you feel like yelling over all the noise. On top of the noise factor, over 20% of customers said that they felt that the Waffle House chain was dirty and not well maintained, which is not exactly the type of place that sounds like some place you would want to eat. Waffle House has never tried to be a high-end type restaurant. They are mostly known as a roadside stop that is open whenever you need to stop for a bite to eat. While they do not have the greatest reputation when it comes to being clean or a good place to have a conversation, this has not stopped them from capitalizing on the fact that their name is still known.
There's 100 Waffle Houses in Atlanta.
In fact, Waffle House has been mentioned in several pop culture scenarios, whether it be TV or movies or even songs. So while a bad reputation is not something that most companies ideally want to have attached to their names, this has not stopped Waffle House from turning a profit and remaining a top competitor in the restaurant business. McDonald's.
You have your own McDonald's? No way!
McDonald's has been a household name for a lot of years, known all around the world for their Big Macs, McNuggets, and salty fries. They have not always had the best reputation though, with past scandals ranging anywhere from the quality of their food to misleading customers in regards to whether or not their fries are cooked in oil that contains meat products or not. McDonald's has had more than its fair share of scandals over the years of operation, and all of them have caused the company to take a small hit, but none of them have been enough to truly topple the fast food empire. Their cleanliness has come into question as well, from mold being found in their ice cream machines to employees that were caught serving food that had fallen on the floor instead of just throwing it out. While some say it may be a bit hard to properly clean everything while trying to serve fast food as quickly as they are expected to,
That's not an excuse. There's never an excuse.
at the very least, McDonald's should be following the most basic of health guidelines expected in all of their restaurants. Papa John's.
I said Papa John's!
Papa John's is a much beloved pizza chain, or at least it was much beloved, until the founder really started to show his true colors. While the company did not lose all of its customers or anything near as dramatic as that, they did take a rather large hit to their reputation when the news broke about the founder's scandals. The first of the largest scandals that would see the downfall of Papa John's founder would be when he blamed low sales during NFL games on the fact that some of the players were kneeling during the national anthem, a movement that was done to call attention to racial inequity issues.
If this is the pizza guy, this is really unprofessional.
People were outraged that John Schnatter would use something like that as a scapegoat for their sales being low during games. While people were upset by this statement, this was not yet the breaking point for the founder. The final straw would come shortly after, when news broke that the founder used a racial slur during a business call. The general public called for him to be removed from the company, and that was exactly what was done. He was removed from his position, and also publicly stepped down as chairman of the company at a press conference. While the founder was no longer part of the company, Papa John's did see a drop in sales. Its bad reputation seemed to be here to stay. While it has been a few years since all of this happened, consumers have still not forgotten. Sbarro.
Hey, it's pizza time.
And you've lost it.
No!
Pizza is a beloved food found in many places around the world, and while it may not be the same everywhere you go, you can always get a slice with local flavors and twists just about anywhere you travel. Sbarro is a fast food restaurant chain that largely focuses on offering what they call a New York-style pizza. Found in several places internationally, Sbarro's reputation has been going downhill for a few years now. Their decline, however, unlike other restaurants on this list, did not originate with any huge scandal. Instead, Sbarro has gained a bad reputation from simply serving bad food. Customers say that the appeal is just not there, and Sbarro has been stuck in the past, serving 80s-style food court pizza in a world where there are many other fast food options.
This doesn't make any sense.
Sbarro first gained popularity by opening a large number of small restaurants, mostly located in food courts of large retail malls. They thrived for a while, being one of the first to bring hot pizza to food courts, but their lack of innovation or ability to change has caused their slow decline, and their reputation has suffered among those hungry shoppers looking for something to eat. As a result, Sbarro has been closing restaurants left and right, leaving them with only about 600 locations internationally. Carl's Jr.
I wish for infinity hamburgers.
Carl's Jr. is a chain of burger restaurants, recognizable by the happy yellow and red star that adorns their signs and logos. They originally opened in California in the 1950s and were very quickly to expand to the rest of the United States and beyond. They became largely known for over-the-top hamburgers and messy meals, which many people enjoyed and still do to this day. While their food may not be the source of their bad reputation entirely, Carl's Jr. has a long history, and included in that history have been a few bad moments. One would be staff members who do not exactly follow food handling guidelines, including one Canadian employee who was caught mixing the tubs of sauce with his entire arm.
How can you eat those?
Aside from the few troubled employees that the company has had, Carl's Jr. has also had troubles with the founder's political leanings. Founder Carl Karcher was found to have donated a large amount of money to politicians who were actively supporting anti-LGBTQ+ movements. He has also been known to donate money to other unpopular platforms, including movements to limit women's rights. Aside from the founder's political leanings, the late 1980s also saw a scandal when it was found that some higher-ups at Carl's Jr. were guilty of insider trading. While Carl's Jr. may have made some strides and innovations in the world of fast food hamburgers, their reputation has most definitely taken its lumps in other ways. Krispy Kreme.
I was told there'd be donuts.
Well, we'll set you up over at steak.
Donuts are a sweet and fun treat for any occasion, whether you include them in your morning meal or just enjoy them as a dessert. They're extremely popular. Donuts have revolutionized many times over the years, with different flavor combinations and wacky toppings and fillings always being introduced. Krispy Kreme has made a name for themselves in the baked goods and coffee industry, but what most people know them for is their variety of delicious donuts. Unfortunately, they have made a few decisions in their past that have left them with a bad reputation among consumers.
What was that?
The first was their attempt at rolling out their own loyalty club. The issue wasn't the fact that they tried to create a loyalty club. The issue was what the company wanted to name the club. After releasing the name in a test market, it was quickly removed and never mentioned again. People were outraged by the fact that they had named it Krispy Kreme Club, or KKK for short. As we all know, these are not three letters that anyone should be associating themselves with. Now, while this wasn't done on purpose, it was a huge oversight for the company and caused them a PR hit they could never truly recover from. While that was probably the largest blunder made by the company themselves, it would not be the only scandal that Krispy Kreme would see in their history. Burger IM.
Do you remember this?
Burger IM had a short and tumultuous time as a company. While the franchise saw quick growth and plenty of profit, Burger IM no longer exists in the market. Burger IM specialized in smaller, slider-type burgers that were customizable. Not much is known about the company's past, as much of it was kept hidden by those who were in charge. What we do know is they left a wake of destruction behind them. They expanded quickly, bringing on any franchisee who wanted to jump on the train, seemingly with no sort of actual check to see if they were fit to run a burger franchise. Their reputation quickly tanked after a few years of popularity, mainly due to the fact that they began to seemingly drop support for their franchisees, often leaving them to keep their heads above water with no clue what they were doing. The company quickly began experiencing problems.
I think that's pretty obvious.
When franchisees began to file lawsuits, stating they were being lied to about the franchise costs. Needless to say, their growth had come to a halt as quickly as it started due to negligence of management.